The time is going to come in ministry where your work will be tried by fire, and it will reveal. It's not something you can hide. It will tell us the quality of the investment you have been making. Christ is the foundation of everything. Are we together? But that the quality of what your ministry becomes, please listen, is whatever you add to that cornerstone. That some can add gold, some can add silver, some can add wood, some can add hay, and that eventually fire will come and try the quality of what you have built. Are we together now? So when you find out that there are people who don't seem to have longevity of impact, it's not always a demonic attack. It's just that there are times and seasons within the span of their work ministry where their works are tried and they would have been found wanting. And let me tell you the truth, it is not only Satan that takes. According to the parable of the talent, God also collects from inefficiency and adds to efficiency. It is how the economy of heaven works. So verify who took what you lost, so that you don't bind and cast in ignorance. There are times that it is God himself, for his name's sake. Is it not in your Bible? He gave unto one 5, he gave 2, he gave 1. He gave to all of them. But what they added on what he gave was what he judged them based on. This is what Paul is saying. That Christ is that cornerstone. But whatever you add on that building, a day will come, fire will come to test it. The kind of people you have raised. Are we together now? And I can tell you sincerely, this is a pastor's conference, so I'm at liberty to say a few things. Many of us need to go back and re-examine whether the kind of work we are doing will have longevity. We are celebrating 30 years. I hope you know that 30 years old, anything is old enough. A 30-year-old fool needs a miracle. It doesn't need prayer. It needs a miracle, a complete miracle. If you are 30 years and you have been walking in wisdom, you have gained some experience. Am I right on that? Yes. Longevity. There is a way, I wrote here, God designed that men be built. Please listen. Please listen. Please listen. Dear laborers in the gospel. There is a way that God designed that men be built. There is a way that men need to be built in order to be matured and useful vessels. This must be every minister's approach in raising men. Now listen, the degree of compliance to that model is what makes a man of God a wise master builder or otherwise. When you are called a wise master builder, it is with reference to the degree of compliance to that model. Are we together? Now, there are many estates in Lagos. And how many of you know, some of you are in real estate here, I believe, when you carve out an acre of land or some acres of land, you earmark them to be built. And many times, some estates insist on uniformity of buildings. Am I right? You buy the land, but you are not given the liberty to build what you want. The condition is that you can buy your land, use whatever engineer, but you have to receive the architecture from the owners of the estate. So you can find 5 buildings looking the same but built by different engineers. What brought the consistency of results is not the engineer, it's compliance to the architecture. That means I should see a believer in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Ghana, and the difference should not be too wide. The variety and species of believers we are raising tell the degree of compliance or deviation to that pattern. This is what God is helping us understand. Are we together? That the same way you can see a professor of medicine from, say, Maiduguri meeting with a professor of medicine in Lagos, meeting with a professor of medicine in Johannesburg. They can meet for the first time and nobody would doubt one another because there was a system that standardized their practice. They literally can meet for the first time in the theater and nobody is doubting another person's proficiency. How come when you see a believer A, believer B, you are still not sure, it tells you that another kind of architecture that may not be part of the blueprint is what is being deployed. Do you understand this? It's not about being good or bad, it's about compliance to the standard. No wonder we have a lot of activities that happen weekday, week in, but we do not find that conformity to that standard called the fullness of the measure of the stature of Christ. Who is understanding?